Novelties Limited is a private company in the field of making raw materials for craft items. Sarah runs a small scale handicrafts industry that buys its raw materials from Novelties Limited. Both have been in business with each other for the past 5 years and have been prompt with the upkeep of the contract from both ends. However, in 2021, Sarah had bought goods worth Rs 45,000 on credit from Novelties Limited. Sarah alleges that the goods purchased from Novelties Limited were of substandard quality and have had a drastic effect on the final product she makes. This issue has caused customer dissatisfaction. Sarah has used goods worth Rs 15,000 and still has unused goods worth Rs 30,000 with her and wants to return them back to Novelties Limited. Sarah does not want to pay anything for the unused goods and she is also not willing to pay the full amount of Rs 15,000 for the used goods as it was of substandard quality. Whereas Novelties Limited disagrees with their goods being of substandard quality and wants Sarah to pay up the whole outstanding amount of Rs 45,000 because Sarah took the delivery and did not raise any objections. As per the contract, she would accept the delivery at her warehouse only after an inspection. Upon approaching their respective legal counsel, they have been advised to try mediation and have now decided to negotiate the problem.
The parties present here. My name is Rishabh and I will be the counsel for Miss Anushka in this negotiation session. I would like to state the fact that I'm just here on an advisory capacity and I will not be taking any decisions in this negotiation session.
Good morning, Sam and Council. I'm Anushka. I'm CEO of Novelties Limited. Thank you so much for taking out time to for this negotiation session. Um, uh, I would like to highlight that I would be acting in decision making capacity, and any decision that is agreed upon in this negotiation session would be binding on Novelties Limited.
Good morning to both Ms. Anushka and Council. I am the counsel representing Mr. Sam and I'm here to aid Mr. Sam in all the legalities and technicalities of the session and just to make the session more smoother, and I'm here merely in an advisory capacity. All decisions will be made by my client.
Hello everybody, I'm Sam and I'm the proprietor of the handicraft industry. So let me clarify, all the decisions that are taken by me will be on behalf of the handicraft industry, and if at all we sign any agreement, it is binding.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sam and Council. I would begin by saying that Novelties Private Limited and Mr. Sam have a long ongoing trade relationship for a long time now. So due to a recent trade that happened, there was my client believes that Mr. Sam did not keep his part of the contract, did not fulfill his part of the contract. So we hope that we repair this hampered relationship in by the end of this negotiation session and come to a middle ground and come we solve this dispute amicably. My client would like to proceed further.
Thank you, Council. Mr. Sam and Novelties Limited have been in businesses over 5 years, and during this time, we have developed a very good relation with each other. Due to the recent events that have occurred, Mr. Sam agreed to pay 45,000 in cash, and the goods were purchased on credit. However, Mr. Sam claims that the goods were of substandard quality and thus refuses to pay 45,000. But I feel Novelties Limited has suffered a huge loss because of this, because there has been inability to purchase and make further transactions. This is somewhat this is a refusal on part of Mr. Sam to behold his part of the bargain, and I feel that there has been a good trade relation and we can work on it, and by the end of this negotiation session we can come to a solution which is amicable to both the parties. We have been Novelties Limited has always supplied goods to Mr. Sam on credit, and there has been no such events. Also, the contract which has been signed by Mr. Sam clearly indicates that the acceptance of the order would only be after the inspection. So acceptance by Mr. Sam also reflects that such inspection has been done, and if after inspection he's not satisfied with the quality of the product, I feel that is something that could be discussed upon, because that is not a part of the original contract that was signed between Novelties Limited and Mr. Sam.
Alright, thank you so much, Miss Anushka, first of all, for kind of showing us your perspective on it. Now, secondly, thank you for inviting us to this negotiation session in the first place. My client and I hope to derive both of our best interests by the end of this session. And I also hope that we can secure the business relationship that we have been successfully maintaining with each other since the past 5 years or so. Now, talking about the main concern that needs to be voiced that has brought all of us here is simply the low quality of goods that the consignment that was shipped to us and that we have received, and the wastage of those goods and the finances from my client's business. Now, to further this process, I would love for this on this platform, for my client's opinions and perspective to be voiced. So I would hand it over to my client.
I run a small scale handicraft industry, so I'm taking tiny steps towards growth in the market. So the quality of my product is paramount. As because of the quality, I get clients. So I'm a person who believes that if I lost a client, it is lost forever. But in the recent times, after taking the raw materials from Novalities, I felt that the raw materials are of subsidized quantity, and because of that, there have been a lot of problems in my business. I understand there are problems, but let us solve this fruitfully and keep our relationship also.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sam and Council, for putting forth your perspective and issues regarding the same. So, after listening to both the opening statements, I believe there are two agendas that we can discuss upon. The first one being with regards to the goods that we have been supplied, what do we do about it? And a second agenda being how to prevent this from happening again. If the other party is fine with the agendas form.
Mr. Counsel, if I may add on, can we also add the compensation that we are supposed to get to the agenda as a third agenda, if you're okay with it?
Alright, Council, we'll add that as the third agenda for this negotiation session. We can proceed with the negotiations. Right?
Just to interrupt, just to further this process and to make it smoother, can we also set the flow of discussion? So we can start with the discussion of the problem and any questions that you have to my client and my client has towards you, and then we can move on to discussing the agendas individually and also the solutions pertaining to
Surely,
them.
Council.
Alright, so moving on to our first agenda, which is what we have to do with the consignment that you have already shipped to us, right? So as of now, we have 15,000 worth of goods that are used and 30,000 of goods that are unused. So for the ease of this discussion, we can separately discuss what to do with each. Now, if my client has any idea to add on of what to do with the goods, then he may express.
Since
it.
the goods which are 15,000 of worth are furbished and sent to the client and which are returned back, so that is of no use now. So there is nothing that we can do about it. So coming to the unused goods, even they are of not good quality, so I don't think it is right to take full payment on that. So I propose we pay you 15,000 for the total worth of goods. In the alternative, I can pay you 30,000, wherein you take back the unused goods, refurbish it, and give it back to us.
Just for the point of clarification, Mr. Sam, you're talking about the receiving 30,000 as a total amount received for in lieu of 45,000, right?
Yes. In the second alternate.
Just to reiterate what my client has said, to make it clear that 15,000 worth of goods are only used. Now the 30,000 worth of raw materials that you have shipped to us are completely unused. We and my client is in agreement to completely ship it back to you, the unused raw materials, so that you can refurbish it to a higher quality and ship it back to us, for which we will be ready to pay 30,000 starting from the next annual year. That's one alternative. Now the second alternative that my client is proposing is that we can of course, again, return the goods to you. You don't have to return it to us. You don't have to refurbish it and return it to us. But we will only be paying the amount which we have used, which is the 15,000, and we can only pay it readily from the next annual year. So these are the two alternatives. If you are clear with it, then you can.
So just to summarize the offer, the first alternative, right? So you're willing to send back the whole quantity of unused goods, and you're asking us to refurbish it with of the same cost, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
30K.
Yes.
And with regards to the used goods, Mr. Sam be paying to my client 15,000?
So if you are refurbishing it and giving it to us and we are already paying you 30,000, which is starting from next annual year, then we won't be paying the 15,000 that has been used, because our 15,000 of worth of money has already gone down in drains, because we had to refund our clients. We had to kind of take accountability for the bad quality of the final product that was made from our end because of the kind of compromised quality of the raw materials, right? So no, I don't think my client will be in agreement to pay 15,000 further if you are refurbishing it also.
All right, counsel, I do understand, but when it comes to the used goods, your client has to pay 15,000, right? If I'm not wrong. But even in supplying those raw materials, my client has spent out of his own pocket and provided the raw materials. So if he's not getting the 15,000 that he deserves, even my client will be running into losses. To further give an idea about it, my client would speak.
Yes. So as I mentioned before, that even I have certain purchasing and payments to do, and I'm sorry, but I don't think that our company is in a state to give 100% concession to you in regards to the used goods, which amounts to 15,000. In regards to 30,000, a discussion can be done regarding the exchange of goods and a better quality of goods being provided to you in exchange of the goods previously shipped. But as of 15,000, yes, there could be some concession which can be given to you in regards to the amount, but I don't think 100% concession would be permissible on our end.
So in that case, what we can do is, since all the 15,000 is whole loss to us, we can make a part payment in that, but we would be needing a discount in the 30,000 worth of goods, because we are totally into losses, and we had refunded the whole amount to our clients who had returned back the handicrafts because of your faulty raw materials. So since there is a mistake on your side, I agree there that you have made payments, so we are okay with paying a part, but we'll again get a discount in the 30,000 worth.
All right. The fact that you're mentioning that it's our fault as well, but when it comes to the contract, it is your obligation that you check the quality of the products before you sell it to someone else.
All right, let's not move into the blame game, as in let's not blame each other, because the mishap has happened. So now let's move forward from that. I think what my client is trying to say is that the 30,000 which we are ready to pay, if you're also paying the 15,000 amount in whole, we expect some sort of discount from you on the refurbished good that you will be reshipping to us, which is the 30,000 worth of amount. And if my client is also in agreement, another alternative can be, we can think of the long term. We will pay you 45,000, but considering that we'll be very open with you, we cannot afford it to pay the whole amount this financial year. So we will pay it next financial year in installments, the complete amount. We have no problem. But securing our future, given that we have a long maintained business relationship of 5 years, we expect to do more business with you, provided that obviously you regain the trust that we have lost from us. We expect concession on the future purchases that we make. So if we can strike any sort of concession in long term on the contracts that we are yet to sign with each other, then we can totally pay the full amount.
Surely, counsel, even my client is here to repair this relationship and continue the trade relationship that has been going on. So with regards to the 30,000 unused goods, right? So we are ready to give the refurbished goods on credit, and you can pay that amount in the next financial year and we are ready to bear the delivery expenses and we are ready to bear the tax expenses as well. But we will give the goods on credit. You, we are giving you the liberty to pay for the very same 30,000 worth goods in the next financial year. And with regards to the used goods 15K, we are willing to provide some concession but not 100% concession.
So how about we pay half of the used goods and get a 5K concession in the 30,000?
Mr. Sam, I would put forward a proposal that includes a concession of 30% on the 15,000 worth of goods that you have used. That gives you, like, you'll have to pay 70% of the used 70% of 15,000. And in regards to the 30,000 worth of goods, we feel, yeah, 30,000 can be paid to us partly this year and partly can be paid in the future. Moreover, in future, if you feel, I mean, if you feel it right, we can give to you a 7 to 10% of discount on your future purchase.
To add on to what my client has just given, we are running in losses, and we have my client has some other deals with other companies as well. So providing a concession on the 30,000 worth of goods will create a burden on my client, financial burden on my client.
So since you're not giving me good enough discount, I have to maintain my reputation in the market as well. So I'm okay with paying you the money, but can I put it on social media that because of the faulty goods there has been this mishap?
See, my client has already decided that a trust has been broken, right? So my client definitely wants to express it to his fellow colleagues that there has been an incompetence from your end, and even despite the initial inspection that we had done, we could only recognize that the goods were faulty once the final product was made, because the nature of the substandardized quality of the goods were such a way that we could not find it through inspection. So when we are at no or maybe comparatively less fault of our own, we just request you to consider that when we are being open that we cannot afford to pay the full amount this year, and we are also agreeing that we will pay the full of 30,000 starting next year and also 15,000, provided one that you give a discount on the 13,000 or you give further discounts in all our future purchases. So I think these are the only two deals that my client is willing to strike, and we can definitely, because of this negotiation session, we are here to maintain each other's relationship with each other. So I will convince my client not to damage your reputation, given that you also cooperate financially from your side. So hopefully we can strike an arrangement regarding that too.
All right, counsel, we do understand. So with regards to the discount, in the next financial year, for the first three purchases that you make from our company, we are willing to provide you with a discount of 10%. 10%. And with regards to this year's unused good, we are ready to provide it on credit, and you can pay it in the next financial year. And with regards to the used goods, I think your client has already agreed that he will pay some part of the amount from it.
Alright, so just to reiterate, you are agreeing to give us a 10% concession on all our future purchases.
On the first three purchases of the next financial year.
First three purchases only.
Let them make it 5.
Alright, then if we are making it 5, then the discount rate will be a bit lesser. 8% discount on the first 5 purchases.
We cannot agree on that. That does not sound reasonable, because it's only the first 5 purchases, that too for the next year only. We don't even know if our purchases are going to be that many in number for only the next year. So we will have to strike some other deal to make this work. What I would propose is, for the next 2 years, if you give us a 10% concession on not more than 3 orders per year. So that's 6 orders in total.
Alright, so see, we do want to maintain this relationship with Mr. Sam. So I think my client agrees with your offer, but provided that Mr. Sam bears the delivery cost and all the road tax expenses.
In that case, council, we would not be able to pay the full amount of the used goods as of now. Can we request you to allow us to pay it in installments starting the next financial year, since the next financial year we will also have to bear the delivery costs and all of the extra costs. So
Yeah, I understand completely where you're coming from, council. But the point is that even as I have been mentioning repeatedly, I have certain obligations that I have to abide to, and by the end of the financial year, there are a number of payments that I have to make that are huge in amount. So yeah, I think that would lead to a lot of difficulties for my company and for me. So I don't think that deferring the payment, deferring the payment of such huge amounts to the next year would be very feasible to us.
I
Since
believe
we are
it is-
also paying the delivery charges, it will be a huge financial burden on me as well to pay for whole for the used goods and as well to pay the delivery charges. So there must be either you pay the delivery charges and I pay for the used goods right now, or I'll bear the delivery charges and I can pay the amount for the used goods in installments from next financial year.
alright, if I may be permitted, I would like to propose an alternative offer with the permission of my client. Uh, See, as we have already stated, that our business is not doing very well right now, and considering this mishap that has additionally happened, we are not in a position to pay the 15,000 in full right now. But we will still consider that, since you have expressed to us that you have payments to make by the end of the year. We will consider that, considering that you agreed to give us a bulk order. You kind of outsource a bulk order for us this year, so that we can kind of climb the economic ladder, and then we will be able to pay 15k of the amount in total to you, and then we can also pay 30k in installments starting next year without any discount. But we just need a big break. So if you are willing to give that to us, because you have a lot of connections in this industry, so
I think that is something that we can work upon. Um, Fine.
I believe my client needs to have a word with her colleagues and her connections in other companies as well, because my client does not have the authority to take decisions on other companies and other people's on behalf.
So I can surely make some calls and arrangements, and this is something that can be discussed in the next round of negotiation. So yeah, I think that is one point that can be kept on hold for now. Alright.
So we can move on to the next agenda, which is, we would like to ask you, how are you planning to not repeat this mishap again, because we are planning to keep on doing business with you.
Yes, Council. So I would like to put forward the point that Novelties Limited has recently entered into a contract with one of the technological companies, and which would be enhancing, which would lead to enhancement of a product and quality control. That this way we can ensure that in future none such event would happen, and would ensure that whatever product that Mr. Sam receives is of good quality and has been checked thoroughly. That is an assurance from Novelties Limited. We have already made it invested in that company, and we are getting good returns as of now.
So is that contract any way related to us?
Yes, so Ms. Anushka, in furtherance of what you have just said, we would require a written guarantee from you that any such event to be occurred in any future consignment, we will not be liable to pay the amount. Firstly, to avoid any conflict between the two businesses, and secondly, to prevent this from happening, because already you have seen that so much confusion has happened because of the unfortunate event. So if you can give it to us in written that we will not be liable to pay in terms of any shortcomings or incompetence from your end, then we will definitely consider doing business with you, and also not consider putting the fact out on social media that such an event is happening.
Yeah, I think a guarantee like such we mentioned will be given from my client's end, provided that if there's any fault from our side, you will not be liable to pay any amount. So is the other party fine with this? Is Mr. Sam fine with it?
So in case there is any mishap in the raw material supplied, so I will not be liable to pay anything.
Sure.
So we will definitely add this into the contract that we have with each other, and
Sure. Okay, I hope second agenda is clear now.
Yes, it
So
is.
moving on to the third agenda, which is with regards to the compensation. Right. So with regards to the compensation, my client would be speaking about it.
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, there had been there was a contractual obligation that was created by Mr. Sam towards the payment of the credit amount, and I feel there has been fault on behalf of both the parties in regards to some or the other incident, and compensation. The concession has been given in regards to the future payments and the amount to be paid by Mr. Sam regarding the used goods. I feel there isn't. I don't think it would be feasible for us, Novelties Limited, to be paying an amount in as compensation apart from the concession that has already been provided.
Alright, regarding the compensation, if my client is satisfied with only the concession, then we can move forward. But if my client has something else in mind,
So since there has been high dissatisfaction from the customers, I have to show that I stand for my quality and reputation. So there should be something, even if it is a very minimal amount. There has to be something that which makes my client feel that I stand for the quality. So there can be a minimal amount of compensation that you can pay towards the business, so that it will not hamper both the businesses.
Just to clarify, the compensation that you'd be receiving, you're saying that it would be used as a symbol to show to your loss of clients that there has been a mistake on part of us, and that is the case, right? So that could be reflected on our social media profile as well.
No, it will not be posted in any social media, but
this is just to show the clients that we have done business with and we have consigned faulty fine products to, for their satisfaction, that they can trust us and it's not at the end of the day our fault.
also to boost the morale of the employees who work in our company.
All right, as you already mentioned that we should not play the blame game here, but again I want to reiterate the fact that even there's a bit of fault in your side as well by not checking the quality of the goods that we have sent. So I believe that asking for a minimal amount of compensation apart from the concession is not right, my client feels.
Because again, just like you, Mr. Sam, even I have a business to run, and compensation, I'm already giving huge amount of concession in regards to the payments, be it future payments or current payments, and again on top of that, if I'm asked to provide compensation, I think it would lead to a lot of difficulties for me, and that wouldn't be something that I could agree upon.
Alright, so
just to add on to what my client has just said, apart from the concession, we are also willing to bear the delivery charges and tax information for this year's 30K worth goods that we are sending it on credit.
Just to wrap this up, I would like to remind both the parties that this whole deal has been struck on the basis that you agree or you manage to get us a bulk order this financial year, right? So in that case, we would not expect any further monetary compensation, but in case that fails to happen, then we are expecting a monetary compensation of around 20,000. You can pay it in installments, that's not an issue, but by the end of this financial year. So if you are in agreement to that, so we don't want both. It's either our bulk order and the concession, or just an amount of 20,000 by the end of this financial year.
All right, Council, I completely understand, and I think that is something that we can agree upon. So we have kept this motion for the next negotiation session that we'll have. with regards to the outside relations and getting you a bulk order. So this is something that that can be agreed upon later in the next session, and if that fails to happen, I think we are ready to give you that kind of compensation.
Alright, then I think we have managed to strike both of our interests, and
So if I may, I would like to summarize what we have discussed in this negotiation session so far. With regards to the first agenda, that what do we do with regards to the goods. So Mr. Sam has asked us to provide with a bulk order, and we need to put that in. We have to move that motion in our general meeting with other companies as well. And if they agree to it, we will surely get back to you with the agreement and with the quantity of the goods as well. And with regards to how to prevent this from happening, my client has struck a deal with another company, and she will make sure that there will be no such intricacies in the future. And with regards to the compensation, we have discussed. Can you please summarize about the compensation that we discussed?
alright, so the compensation has two alternatives as of now. So one is the concession that we are getting for the maximum number of orders, which is 3 per annual year for the next 2 years. And the second is, if your party is not managing to get us a bulk order by the end of this financial year, then we are expecting a minimal financial compensation of 20k by the end of this financial year.
Yeah, to that my client has agreed that if that idea does not work, my client will be willing to provide 20k compensation.
Alright.
So I believe that's it. So I would like to thank Mr. Sam and Ms. Anushka and Council to come to this negotiation session and put all their issues and facts on the table and discuss upon it. So I believe that there have been a lot of developments today, and I believe it's good to say that the relationship between both the parties is still intact, and I hope the business runs for a long time.
Even I would like to thank Mr. Sam, Council. Thank you so much for agreeing to come to this negotiation session. Thank you for being so patient and so kind to listen to our issues and then discuss upon them further. I'm so thankful that we could come to such great solutions by the end of one negotiation session itself. And I hope that our business relation remains intact, and it even grows in future. Thank you so much.
I thank the other party for sitting in patiently and making the process a very smooth one. I'm really glad that there has been some progress in the agendas, and I really hope that the next round of negotiation would be even more smoother and better. And till now, there has been our relation has been intact, and there has been no mishaps till now. So I really hope we'll maintain the same relation further.
Yeah, thank you to both the council and to the CEO of Novelties for your cooperation in making this a smooth process. And further communication will be done between me and Mr. Council for the next negotiation session. Thank you so much.